recognition.
Mr. Chairman, I rise to strike the last word.
Gentleman's recognized.
Wanted to give just one further response to Mr. Swalwell, who asked this question. Apparently, he's just not been listening to his colleagues on the other side of the aisle. I think every one of us have said unequivocally over the last few weeks that there is inherent dignity in every single life, not just American, every life around the world. I've said in every interview, national, local, regional, I've said in our subcommittee hearings and in this hearing before in opening statements that it's not just that lives matter, it's that every single human life has inestimable dignity and value. And our value is not related in any way to the color of our skin, where we come from, what zip code we live in, where we went to school, how talented we are, how good looking, what we contribute to society. None of that is relevant. Every single human life has inestimable dignity and value because it's given to us by our Creator. And I have further explained, and so have all my Republican colleagues, that this is an essential thing. It's essential to who we are as Americans. We find this as our foundational creed. We find it listed in the second paragraph, the Declaration of Independence, our nation's birth certificate. G.K. Chesterton was the late British philosopher. He said America is the only nation in the world that is founded upon a creed. And he said it's listed with theological lucidity in the Declaration. We hold these truths to be self-evident. What is a self-evident truth? It's something you cannot not know. Why is that? Because it's stamped upon your heart by your Creator. He said we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Remember, the Declaration does not say we are born equal. It says we are created equal by someone, by God. And they said because we're created by God, He gives everybody the same inalienable rights. Among these rights are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. This was a promissory note, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, to future Americans. We have not lived up to that ideal. We're working on it. The first paragraph, the first line of our Constitution says we do this, we the people do this in order to form a more perfect union. What the House Judiciary Committee is about is working together to form a more perfect union. My friend, I don't know how you've missed all this, but we are all united on that. We all agree that there needs to be meaningful reform. But what we're doing here is having thoughtful dialogue and debate, exactly the kind that was envisioned at our founding, to form and come together with the best answers, the best solutions that will advance the ball for the most American people. That's part of the process. And part of the thing that we've lamented today is that we haven't been part of the process yet. The Democrats proposed this bill, went together in a room somewhere and did not allow us in it. We respectfully requested to be a part of the process. Staff reached out to staff, and we were rebuffed in that request. So if everything that Mr. Cohen just said and others have said is true, if you really want to have meaningful reform, if you really want to improve American policing in a way that will work and will maintain public security and safety, then it seems like you would be open to the thoughtful ideas that we have on the other side. We ought to be doing this together. As I said in my opening statement, the American people expect that and they deserve it. We don't need partisan squabbles in here. We need all of us to work together and to treat one another with the dignity and respect that our Declaration entitles us to and that the founders recognized was a self-evident truth. Look, I appreciate Ms. Scanlon and others acknowledging the thoughtful amendment of Congressman Armstrong. He comes to this very thoughtfully. We had a meeting last night. He talked about it at length. This is his background, his expertise, and he has a lot to offer, and you ought to listen to him. We've got 20 other amendments here that are equally thoughtful, and we ought to have an important debate. I hope the American people are watching this. I hope they're recording everything we say. And let's not engage in these squabbles about whether we all think life is precious, because every single one of us does. And when we get beyond that squabble, we can get on to the meaningful work of the committee. I'll yield to Mr. Gates.